Hey y'all! Thought we'd pop in today to talk about something every fiber artist eventually struggles with: keeping track of sewing supplies. Whether you're a quilter, a cross-stitcher, a knitter who dabbles in fabric, or someone who loves crochet and tends to collect notions like magpies collect shiny things, you know exactly how fast those little essentials can scatter. One moment, everything is neatly in place, and the next, you're crawling on the floor trying to locate a rogue pin, or digging through fabric piles to find the one pair of scissors that actually cuts cleanly. Today, we're diving deep into practical, clever, and affordable ways to keep your sewing space organized so you can spend some more time stitching and less time hunting for runaway tools. Sewing supplies have a magical ability to grow legs and walk away. Pins roll under tables, bobbins wedge themselves between books, and somehow, your best marking pin will always vanish the moment you need it. No matter how long you've been sewing, it happens to everyone. That's why intentionally tracking your tools isn't just helpful, it's essential. And the good news is, you don't need a fancy studio or high-end organizers to do it. With a few smart systems and a little creativity, you can turn any crafting corner into an efficient, joyful workspace. Let's start with the tiniest culprits of chaos: pins, needles, and small metal tools. These are always rolling into oblivion. The easiest and most surprisingly affordable solution? Magnetic trays. And no, they don't have to be from a craft store. The ones at your local hardware store, the same kind mechanics use for screws, work beautifully. They're sturdy, inexpensive, and powerful enough to hold a pile of pins even when you bump the table and knock over that tray. If it does get knocked over, most of the pins stay put inside instead of scattering like confetti across the room. Bonus tip: keep 2 magnetic trays on your workstation. One for pins you're currently using, and one for pins that need to be sorted or checked before going back into your pin cushion. You can also use magnetic trays for some surprising things. If you do quilting or machine sewing, magnetic trays are great for holding small screwdrivers, seam rippers with metal ends, machine needles in their cases, or even those pesky thimbles that tend to vanish between projects. They help gather all the metal bits that otherwise slide all over the place. They're also perfect for travel sewing kits because everything stays put, even if the tray gets jostled. But of course, not everything in a sewing room is magnetic. Marking pens and rotary cutters, glue sticks, small rulers, and scissors all need their own place. This is where repurposing comes in handy. An old dishwasher silverware basket is absolutely perfect for those tools. They're tall enough to keep everything upright, divided enough to help you sort by category, and sturdy enough to hold heavier items like rotary cutters. Plus, they're cheap or free if you already have one sitting around. You can separate pens by type, store your best scissors separately from your kid-safe craft scissors, and keep all your cutting tools so you never have to wonder where they've wandered off to. It's one of those solutions that looks simple, but it works like magic. You can take the silverware basket concept even further. If you sew in multiple locations, maybe sometimes at a table, other times on the couch, consider having 2. One on your main sewing desk, and one that acts as your portable essentials caddy. Just grab it and go. Everything stays upright, organized, and easy to find. And because the compartments are ventilated, you can also store things like glue sticks or chalk pens that need a little airflow. Now let's talk about the tiny but important treasures that seem to disappear at random. Buttons and beads and embroidery floss bobbins, machine feet and charms, ribbons, and all the little decorative bits. These things never stay where you put them. Traditional sewing boxes often look cute, but they're rarely as efficient as we want them to be. That's why a fishing tackle box can be a game changer. Tackle boxes have adjustable dividers, snug-fitting lids, and layers that stack vertically, unlike many craft boxes, which just waste space. They're designed to keep tiny items from bouncing around, which means your buttons and beads stay exactly where you sort them. And best of all, they're usually significantly cheaper than branded sewing organizers. If you want to level up your organization even more, designate sections in the tackle box based on your favorite craft. One area for crochet stitch markers, one for sewing machine pressure feet, one for cross-stitch embellishments, one for bead assortments, and so on. You can even label each compartment with washi tape or small stickers so everything stays intuitive. This is especially helpful if you're someone who does multiple fiber crafts like me and needs to keep tools separate. Next up, paper clutter. Anyone who sews knows how fast manuals, templates, patterns, magazine clippings, and printouts start to multiply. And if you toss them in a drawer, well, they wrinkle, they tear, or they vanish entirely, usually on the exact day you're trying to troubleshoot your machine. Instead of letting those papers pile up, invest in a good 3-ring binder and some plastic inserts. Sheet protectors are perfect for manuals and printed instructions, while clear pocket-style inserts are fantastic for holding pattern pieces, loose templates, or any supply instructions that come with tools or embellishments. The system really does something important. It keeps all your knowledge in one place. If your sewing machine jams and you suddenly need the troubleshooting steps, it's right there. If you printed an embroidery pattern months ago and now want to return to it, it's not crumpled in the bottom of a tote bag. And if you clip inspiration photos or magazine articles, you'll always know where to find them. Think of your binder as your sewing brain, organized and always reliable and ready to help. You can take this a step further by creating multiple binders. One for machine manuals and troubleshooting guides, one for sewing patterns, one for inspiration or in-project kits, one for knitting or crochet reference pages. When everything has a home, nothing gets lost. And flipping through your binder can become a genuinely comforting ritual, like browsing your own curated library of creativity. But let's step back for a moment and talk about the broader picture. Why organization matters so much in fiber crafts. It's not about being tidy for the sake of tidiness. It's about reducing friction. Every time you have to stop mid-project to hunt for a tool, your creative flow gets disrupted. Organization helps you keep that flow going. Whether you're counting cross-stitch squares, measuring fabric for a quilt block, or weaving ends into a crochet piece, the last thing you want is to break your concentration by tearing apart your workspace looking for a tool. When everything has a home, you can focus on the part of crafting you love most, the making. And your solutions don't have to be fancy or expensive. Some of the best organization hacks come from repurposing things you already own. A mug you love can hold pens. A spice rack can store small bottles of beads. A hanging shoe organizer can become a wall-mounted storage solution for yarn, ribbon spools, or folded fat quarters. A rolling cart can house entire project kits. Creativity doesn't end when you finish your craft. It's woven into how you store your supplies too. You can also organize by craft project, which is a method many crafters swear by. If you often work on multiple long-term pieces, a quilt, a cross-stitch pattern, a crochet afghan, consider using large zipper pouches or mesh project bags. Put everything for each project inside one bag. The fabric, the floss, the pattern page, needles and scissors, and even a small pin cushion. When you're ready to pick up that project again, you just grab the bag. No need to rehunt for tools, resort your colors, or reprint your pattern. Another great approach is to designate a current favorite station. This is especially helpful for knitters and crocheters who like to rotate between tools and brands. You can keep your favorite ergonomic hooks, the scissors you reach for most often, your needle gauge, and a few stitch markers all in one easy-to-access container. It keeps the clutter off your main table and helps you keep your most used tools close in hand. Let's not forget about fabric storage, because fabric can absolutely take over a sewing space if left to its own devices. For people who quilt or use a lot of fabric, consider folding fabric around comic book boards or mini bolts. This helps everything stay uniform in size and makes it easy to stack or display upright. If you work primarily with scraps, try clean jars or small baskets. The visual aspect makes it easier to find things, and it adds a colorful, cozy touch to your crafting area. No matter what your space looks like, whether it's a full sewing room or a tiny corner of your living room, the key is setting up systems that work for you. Some people love drawers. Other people prefer open shelving. Some want everything color coordinated. Others organize by size or material. There's no right or wrong way to set up your sewing space. As long as you know where your tools are and can reach them quickly, you're doing it right. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with one last thought. Organization isn't something you do once and forget about. It's a process. Your crafting habits change over time. You'll pick up new hobbies. You'll discover tools you love. You'll shift your workspace as your creativity grows. So let your organization system be flexible. Adjust it as often as you need. There is no shame in evolving your space right alongside your projects. Well, y'all, that's about it. Tell me in the comments what clever storage ideas you've come up with. I'd love to hear your solutions and maybe try some of them myself. Happy stitching!